The first slide shows us that it's already with Max Weber that we have overcame the view Marxistic view on the relationship between economy and law. Weber in the 1922 showed us that shouldn't be any difference between civil law system and common law system in as a resistance form to the development of the capitalistic economy. This point of view of Weber, it has not been really verified from the legal science, I have to say. Something more interesting is what Niklas Luhmann told us in the 74 on the role of dogmatic in a compression of an existent, thus historically determined social reality. This verification shows us that there is a resistance of the dogmatic of law in social transition process. Now, China, the economical transition in China and the role of law in this in the social change. The positive consequences of this opening of the planned economy to the market economy has produced in China, also in its internal market, a really good growth, and have been accompanied by a legal process of production of law through legislation, which seems to point out that China is moving towards a codification in stages. So told us Sandro Schipani. It's not just a problem of rule of law and democracy. I think that is also a problem of contents of law. What kind of structures and concepts in this codification in stages China has used. Here we can see that there is an important selection of appropriate contents typical of not the common law tradition, but typical of the civilian tradition which is founded on the Roman law. Professor Zhang Ping showed us this very well. For example, we can see individual property in the new ownership and real rights, so rights in rem law of the last year, and rights in re aliena, contract, obligation, the problem of the governance in company law, and limited liability in enterprise. I show you just 2 points. The role of property and properties in the new Chinese law on ownership and rights in rem. This new law shows that the individual property now has taken an important role in the trichotomy public property, collective property, individual property. But also, it's not just this, also the Chinese law has used the concept of our tradition of iura in re aliena. We can translate with with a little bit, so not very exactly in these terms, rights in rem in the tradition of common law. With this structure of rights in rem, Chinese legislator would like to solve the problem of the titularity of land and the possibility of farmers to use this land without taking away the public property on the land or collective property on the land. Another example is the contract law of the 1999. This law shows us very well the development from the concept of economic contract to the contract of the civilian tradition. Also, in this law, the Chinese way to the development of juridical structures show us that it's important to take the different types of contract of our tradition, sale, lease, and etc. Also, there is a very big importance of principles of our tradition, like good faith, equity, freedom of contract, freedom of contract. So this is the idea that I would present to you, is that maybe China, with this use of typical contents, juridical typical contents of the civilian tradition of law, would like to manage the social change that is coming with the economical transformation from a planned market to a market economy, to a planned economy to a market economy, also with the instrument of law. Also with the instrument of law that could maybe avoid the traumas and the crisis, social crisis that also we have in Europe experienced with the fall or in Russia with the fall of the USSR. The speed of transition in China is impressive and seems to provide a good expectation about the fact that the way of law engaged by China as a medium of transition could avoid painful social crisis. Thank you.